Okay, this is Monty Henry. I'm owner of my own surveillance and security equipment company. And right now I'm recording a blab that has nothing to do with my own company, but it does have everything to do with something that I just learned about. It sounds like in the early 1920s, African Americans or blacks, we had our own version of the equivalent of a Black Wall Street. Okay. And I'm fascinated by the idea and the concepts, and it sounds like this is something very intriguing. And I encourage anyone and everyone to um, discuss this issue, give us any input that you want, and let's try to figure out what was going on there, whether or not that was the impetus of some very good ideas, and why was it such a threat, in my opinion, why was it such a threat to the larger city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, okay? So anyway, I'm going to go off the record and we'll just go over some additional things here, and then we'll go back onto the record again. Well, before I go off the record, since there's no one joining, uh, just want to say that from my perspective, and I'm still researching this, from my perspective, this seems like the city of Greenwood, I guess it was a town or a city of Greenwood, the African Americans decided to take their portions of oil revenues, because it sounds like Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Oklahoma in general, was booming, had a significantly high GDP, or gross domestic product, as a result of oil revenues flowing into the city's coffers, to the state's coffers rather. And a lot of that money was, of course, flowing into the hands of the citizens. And because of segregation and racial division within the state itself, it sounds like a lot of the power and influence were in the hands of the whites as compared to the blacks. But at the same time, a number of the blacks decided to take their portions of the oil revenues and start their own businesses, um, and to make a concerted effort to keep those revenues within a particular city of Greenwood. And at that time, just a little bit more perspective, at that time, it seems like in Oklahoma and nationwide, there was a lot of segregation, a lot of prejudice, a lot of racism going on. And it was very difficult for the minorities, African Americans, etc., to really take advantage of the opportunity of prosperity, considering the racism, considering things were going inhibiting these things were inhibiting them from participating as much as they should. So according to what I understand, particularly in Greenwood, okay, the African Americans decided to again start their own businesses and invest in those same businesses, and trying to in terms of keeping the funds within the communities itself. And as a result of this idea, they actually found that they were reaping great economic gains as a result of it. And from what I understand, and you can see the documentaries, etc., on your own if you want to review it. But it sounds like there is economic turnover of 6, 7, 8, 10 times in terms of the dollars invested in Greenwood by African Americans or blacks and staying within the town itself. Okay, so as far as I can understand, again, just to reiterate, once those transactions took place from consumer to business, etc., the money stayed within the community a significantly long time before it ever left. So that's typically what you want in a good economic model. You want your money to stay within the community and churn as much as possible within that structure.